Hey everyone, this week we're looking at a couple more of my favorite topics, exceptional children and mindfulness in the classroom. So I'm really passionate about the exceptional children topic because, first of all, the concept of normal is sort of bunk, right? Nobody's normal, nobody should strive for normality, and when we label people as abnormal or different, we can attach so much stigma and so much self-fulfilling prophecy. And some of you I've probably heard of the Pygmalion effect. I think I might have thrown that into our workbook, where our expectations of somebody can actually impact their performance. So when students know they're being put in certain boxes, especially an expectation of low achievement box, they are far more likely to achieve lowly and to meet those expectations that we've set. And so we have to be really careful with the language that we use, with the methods that we use. I've given you some articles to think about navigating this and some videos as well. But it's not easy to just treat all humans as humans. We have implicit and other biases, as you know, that typically come out whether we want them to or not. Some students are going to frustrate you. Some students are going to irritate you. Some students you might mistake, other issues that are going on for a lack of effort or something, or a lack of respect, or who knows what else. Like, it's very easy for our emotions to get caught up into all of this, but very important stuff. I've given you a couple articles on the other side of the coin because I feel like these students tend to get ignored or misunderstood just as much, and that's the students that maybe are way too smart to be in your class. So what do we do with them? And I think teachers tend to make a lot of mistakes with sort of the exceptionally bright or gifted students. Just ignoring them, singling them out, and giving them excessive praise and making them sort of that nerdy teacher's pet, giving them extra work to do. What a prize that is, right? Oh great, I'm smart, so now I have to do more work. Or using them as the tutors in the class and expecting them to help the lower performing students. Some exceptional students might really love that and thrive, but your exceptionally bright students might also be socially awkward. They might also be really bad at teaching concepts. They might not be especially well suited to this. So thinking about all these considerations, this one hits near and dear to me. I was often in this category where I was definitely ahead of the game, and as a result, felt like school really didn't tailor to me. I still played the game and got the grades. For some reason, I was motivated to do that. But my younger brother, who is incredibly brilliant, almost failed out of high school because it just wasn't meeting his needs. And I know many incredibly brilliant people that were in similar positions where they failed or almost failed out of school because it wasn't challenging, it wasn't engaging, it wasn't tailored toward them. And I think there's so much pressure on us as teachers to get the lower performing students to perform higher that it's easy to let the higher performing students just sort of fall through the cracks. So always have them on your radar as well. What can we do to engage them in meaningful ways? And I've given you several articles, as I mentioned, to get you on that path. Now, of course, mindfulness, it's no surprise that I would bring this topic in as we've been working at it all semester. There's so many benefits. The research is there. I've given you my thesis that I wrote for my grad program at UNC, where I've done a ton of research on mindfulness in the college age setting. But of course, we see many of these benefits across all demographics. So just take a look at some of the millions of things that mindfulness can do, both for our students, that's very important, but also for you. We've talked about self-care, we've talked about work-life balance, we've talked about how incredibly important it is that you all take care of your brains. And teaching requires so much mindfulness, right? You need an extreme amount of awareness of what's going on in your room at all times. You need that emotional bandwidth to not behave reactively or judgmentally to things that are just going to totally throw you off guard. So this is something that, again, is super important to me. Take a look at the articles. Keep finding ways to train your brain. Keep asking me questions about this. Yes, a degree, a piece of paper, all of that stuff, is part of the game. But if you're not mentally prepared, and mentally prepared isn't reading articles, it isn't having a logical plan. Mentally prepared is rewiring your brain in such a way that your autopilot can handle whatever comes at you, because you can't self-talk your way through life. Oh, just be good, just be good. Oh, don't overreact. Don't, like that's never going to be sustainable. And in fact, that's incredibly exhausting, right? So what we're doing through mindfulness is training our brains to have a default autopilot reaction that is more conducive to peace, calm, awareness, compassion, positive results, etc. As always, I look forward to hearing your thoughts on all of this. Please ask me all the questions, and I will gladly do my best to answer them.